Does this party unite anytime soon, or is it just destined to be fractured for this election?
Boy, that is a great question, Lisa and David. And let me bring in our guest analyst now. Marcela Garcia is an outstanding editorial writer and columnist for the Boston Globe. Welcome, Marcela.
Thank you for having me.
And also joining us, Darnell Williams, the CEO of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Welcome, Darnell.
Thank you, John and Marcela.
So it's good to have you here. So to the question, how does this party ever put itself back together again? Humpty Dumpty couldn't do it. How about these guys?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge for them because Donald Trump has defied gravity as well as takeoff, and he has done everything counter to what we know of presidential timber and articulating things that have just divided everyone. But he's still just, it's been amazing for him still to move forward and do the things that he's accomplished. So I think that the party is going to have to wrestle with him being the standard or the standard bearer for the party. And how do they fix that from going from this?
I mean, Marcela, this is going to drag on for at least another couple of weeks now with the results from tonight.
Sure.
It's so nasty. How do you kiss and make up after this?
Well, the GOP has to unite, and they really have to start denouncing Trump, something that they should have done weeks ago. And just because they were dismissing it, and they were waiting for him to drop, for the polls to be wrong or whatever. I don't know what they were waiting for, but they really have to go on the offensive, on the attack, and they should unite. The way we were seeing here and there, we saw Mitt Romney tweet, which is something very un-Romney-like.
Right.
To actually say all these things and to go on the offensive. I think that's what the party needs to denounce Trump, and they need to do it on a united front.
Well, it's been a long time since either political party really controlled everything that went on under its auspices. I mean, let's face it, the days of the smoke-filled room and the conventions where the party bigwigs would decide things, those are long gone. So in that context, even if they want to, I mean, if somehow Trump were denied the first ballot nomination, Cruz wins some more states, Rubio wins Florida, they get enough delegates to deny him that first ballot, and they go into that convention and they get rid of him. He's going to walk out and take a third to a half of the party with him, isn't he?
I think that's a realistic option that's on the table. But I think what's going to happen, if Donald Trump becomes the nominee of the Republican Party, I believe that there may be Republicans that will probably not vote. Because I don't think that there are a lot of establishment Republicans who will embrace his message and his platform. He has yet, in my opinion, to say anything about substantive policy about what he's going to do. That's going to have to shift after these elections, after March 15th. He's going to have to change his tone and saying, what am I going to do if I'm sitting in the corner office? And that's where I think the rubber is going to meet the road.
Well, Marcela, what a gift that would be to Hillary Clinton if, in fact, she continues and sews up this. When this campaign started, all the excitement was on the Republican side. The debates drew more viewers. There was higher turnout in the early primaries and caucuses. You can hear the air coming out of that balloon.
Well, that was all Trump. Trump has always been like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more outrageous things he said, the more fuel he got. And so it's this unstoppable train at this point. And so we all have been complicit, if I may say so. Because, the cable networks, for example, they realized since day one that having Trump on air meant business, right? They saw dollar signs. And so that helped fuel him too. So how do you stop him? How do you, if he gets the nomination, I think we're going to see an independent candidate. I mean, that's really the only, I just don't see another way. Maybe someone like Bloomberg, perhaps. We know he's considering it. He still may. I mean, I think
Well, let me bring in Lisa Hughes, who has a question here. Go ahead, Lisa.
To your point, Darnell, you said a moment ago, maybe we'll see Trump start to sort of join a bit more with the established Republicans, but doesn't he then risk jeopardizing the political brand he's created by being the anti-establishment candidate?
Well, I think the key is that what Donald Trump has demonstrated, that he knows how to dance and say what he needs to say to any audience that he's speaking to, whether it's dealing with the base that he has and the base that he's trying to attract. He's bringing new voters into the process. They're animated. They're very passionate about him.
Loyal.
Angry.
And they're angry. He says, I could shoot someone, and these are his words, not
He's
mine.
right.
He said, I can shoot someone on Main Street and still it won't change my numbers. And so for a candidate to say that, it's one thing for a pundit or, to say that, but for a candidate to say that, that's pretty, I think, gutsy. Is that what I would call it?
Imagine that, a politician who says whatever he thinks the people in front of him or her want to hear.
Imagine Hillary saying something like that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with much more with our guest analysts in a little bit. Right now, back over to you, David and Lisa.
All right, thank you, John. In fact, we are going to take